Hey watch friends, get out your popcorn. Today we're going to be unboxing a brand new model from Direnzo. This is their DRZ06. They're calling it the Wandering Star, and you'll see why here in just a minute. I'm not sure which version we got. I'll talk about the colors that are available. But that being said, this one here is an all new model from the brand. So this is completely new case, has new first movement, all that kind of good stuff as well. So we'll talk about all the details here. But there are three colors. I wanted to share in it and see which one we get. All right, so inside, and this is of course a prototype here we're looking at, but inside we've got the now familiar Direnzo box. So you've got this like charcoal color logo here. And sorry if I'm a bit excited, my heart is slamming away here. I'm excited to see this one. Inside, nice Direnzo postcard, the microfiber cloth, and let's get to the good stuff. So this Wandering Star, the DRZ06, as I mentioned, oh man, fantastic. This was actually my top choice. So this is the green version that we're checking out here. There are three versions, as I mentioned, that are going to be available. So there is there's a black version, there's this green version, and then there's actually like a teal blue color that's a throwback to the Mondial that was originally available in that color that I know has been very popular. So this particular one, this is the first, I believe, for the brand to have this kind of like olive coloration here for the dial. But I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous. So this, as I mentioned, this is just going to be a quick unboxing here. We just wanted to get a little bit of a look. I'm going to set that aside. We'll come back to it. So here we've got actually the two straps. So this is a couple configurations that are available. So there's the three colors, as I mentioned. These are going to come with your choice of this bracelet that we'll look at further, or these leather straps. So there's a black leather strap as well as a brown leather strap. And as you can see, these, so quick release spring bars here, and then these are actually tailored directly to the case. And then one of the things that's so cool, while this is a completely new case, they really thoughtfully made this where it is actually compatible. Both the bracelet and the straps are compatible with the recently launched DRZ02R. So this, you can see, has a similar kind of profile to it, where it's the wide, I believe that was 24 millimeters if I recall correctly on that one. So the lugs are a standard size. However, if you want to actually have the case conformity there, you can see this fits. So these, I know many people were excited about that for the 02R, and now you can actually use these, so these will be available to order separately, but you can get your choice of configuration. So it's going to be cheaper, of course, to buy on the leather, but then you can also get on the bracelet here. There are some updates to that, and we'll look at this. But as far as the basic specs, as I mentioned, bracelet or strap, that's going to be your choice. One of the things that's all new here is you can see this is actually a mystery second configuration. What that means is this subdial, that's actually your second hand there with that little red dot. And that's the name for the Wandering Star. Let's go ahead and start the movement. So as you can see, that's just going to wander around there, hence the idea of the Wandering Star. So that's a really cool effect there. One of the things that's so neat, and we'll of course look at this in the full review, as well as I'll have everything on calipers, full outdoor footage. I'll actually bring in comparison with the 02R, all that kind of good stuff. But one of the things that's really neat is you of course do have loom application to the hands and to the dial, and it's a sandwich dial configuration as you'd expect. But that being said, they actually have the backdrop there for the second is going to be a loom as well. So that just glides around there for that, and that'll be a cool effect. I'm excited to check that out. One of the things you might have noticed though is I was hand winding it. This isn't actually the typical, so every model I believe from Direnzo has had the SW200 with the exception of the 250F, which was their very first ever that I think had an NH35. This one actually changed it up, so it stays with the Salida movement, but this is the SW216. We'll look at this here on the case back. I will say, as far as heads up for this, so you can see no rotor there because this is actually a manual wind movement. Specs-wise, it's going to be pretty similar. However, on the production version, and I'll caveat this in the full review as well, there are going to be some updates. So this will be decorated, so it's going to have Geneva striping on the back, so it'll be more fanciful there. And then additionally, it will have their logo actually printed on the glass, just like we've seen in the past as well. So those are going to be welcome additions, but here's an idea, and you can see, look at how nice and thin that is. That just tucks so nicely into that case. That is fantastic there. So that adds basically no thickness whatsoever. As far as the stated specs, this one is coming in at 38 millimeters for the case size, roughly I believe from the 3 to 9, and we'll of course confirm all of this. The lug to lug is coming in at 46 millimeters, so plenty versatile there, and we'll see this wrist presence here momentarily. The height is only coming in at 10.8 millimeters, and that is including this flat sapphire crystal, which it looks like sits just slightly proud, so that adds just a hair to the thickness. But let's check out, I know this lighting isn't going to be the best, but let's get an idea though of that kind of gradient or that sunburst effect that we've got going on there. And then let's check out actually that gradient or that fume. Look at that nice dark on the edges, playing with the light. That olive color, man, it's everything I had hoped that it would be. I'm hoping this picks up decently on camera, but like I said, the full review will get it much better for that sandwich style. Look at those cuts. That's so cool how that's kind of inlaid in there, and then it has the spheres, so you can see all the way around, have the dots that go, and it just stays with that wandering hour, that planetary theme, and then of course you got the bowl shape, like is a signature there for Direnzo. And then checking out the case, look at that milling. That's so cool. So unlike the 02R, where that had the concavity on the side, you can see this is nicely milled in there. So that's a cool effect, playing with the polish. This is hardened coating on here as well. So just as we saw in the 02R, that's very welcome. And you can see they change it up on the crown side. You have the actual split to that, which makes sense. And that allows the crown itself to fit nice and flush there. Same crown as the 02R, but check out these lugs. Look at how absolutely cool that is. So that just cuts down in there. So now you're bringing in kind of the undercut and concavity that you had on the side of the 02R, but bringing that into the lugs, and you can see, look at the way that kind of swoops in there, has that kind of waviness, that polish effect, and then really seamless with the bracelet integration as you go through there. On the bracelet itself, this is actually the same bracelet, sort of, as the 02R. The only reason I say sort of is because it's identical, except they added a chamfer on the exterior to aid for comfort. I will say though, this was fantastically comfortable on the original as well. So here's an idea. This is on my 6.5-inch wrist. You can see I think it fits plenty well. It actually is very reminiscent of the 02R in terms of profile and the way it sits on wrist, which is to say it has a lot more presence for larger wristed folks. It is, somewhat of a wider as far as with that somewhat squared off case. So it does fill up the wrist a lot. However, I still think it has plenty of versatility for smaller wrists too. If you like the 02R, I think you're going to like the way that this one sits as well. And I will say, at least to my eye at first impression here, with having that undercut the way that it does, or that cut in with the lugs, I do think visually that slims it out a little bit on wrist because it just allows it to drop a little more as opposed to the 02R, which stuck out a little more there. This is going to be launching on February 10th of 2024, and it's going to be directly through their website. Before then, of course, I'll have the in-depth, full detailed review so we can check this out thoroughly. But let's check out, see if there's anything we missed here as far as angles. There's that silhouette. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the way that this just plays with the light. And look at those flow to that case. Like, I mean, everything is just round and smooth, but then it has kind of the milled in cuts, which still have rounded edges to that as well. But man, this thing looks nice. Look at that. Just going to flip this around, get every single angle that we can for just a quick overview here. Oh, this is so good. Then flipping over, we've got still on the bracelet, like I said, the exact same, so you can check out the 02R if you want to see this in detail, but it's still going to be butterfly clasp. It still does include half links, just like the 02R did. Additionally, there is an optional just fold over clasp. Butterflies, I realize, can be polarizing here, but to me, I think it just fits the overall look for this. So if you can get away with it, especially with the half links, I strongly recommend sticking with the butterfly. But that being said, nothing wrong with the fold over. And then, as you can see here, it does have the quick release spring bars, so that'll be nice for changing straps. And in the full review, I'll show it on the straps as well, so we can check that out. But man, I love watching this thing play with the light. I don't want to keep this going on forever, but as you can tell, I'm pretty darn excited. I'm not going to apologize for that. This is definitely this thing's going to be sweet. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know this better ahead of the full review, see what it's like as far as wear characteristics beyond what we've been able to see here. And then, like I said, we'll have much better footage outdoor. I'm going to do a lot of comparison stuff for it as well to give you a good sense there. As I mentioned, I will have the ZERO2R directly head to head so we can see kind of what's similar, what's different. Obviously, we know the bracelet. The case itself, I think, has some similarities as far as the silhouette or the profile, but there's a whole heck of a lot of differences to it. The dial layout just completely different feel and effect for that. As you can see, this one is going to have, you know, the white logo. That's going to be true across the variants. Same thing is true. The red dot is going to be the same across each of the variants. So whether you go with the blue, the green, or the black version, it's all going to have this similar effect there. You know, many people have commented on they're glad to see that this is only available in 3 colors because these things all look so good. They make it hard to choose as is, let alone when you've got, you know, 5, 6, 7 different options available. So this, I think there will be something that will please pretty much everybody if you like the style of Direnzo. And in case you're a fan of the channel, you know I definitely do, as if that didn't come across in this video. So there you go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end things there. I think I've shown all the different stuff for that. We'll wrap things up with one last shot on my wrist. But do stay tuned. Like I said, full review coming. Go into much more depth for that. But for now, I hope this has been an enjoyable first look for you. If it was, do tap that like button. And as always, if you haven't already done so, give that subscribe button a smash there. And then drop a comment. Let me know what you think. If you've seen the previews are now live on their website, link down in the video description. Let me know which color is your favorite, all that kind of good stuff. Thanks for watching.